Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Adam, and I'm recording this video for quietspeculation.com. Quiet Speculation is a Magic the Gathering finance website, but they also have a bunch of really cool stuff as far as constructed metagames go, and some cool limited content like we're bringing you today. So I'm going to hop into the Chromatic Cube draft. I've done quite a few of these at this point. I think of the, 8 or so of these that I've gone through. I believe 6 of them were 7 wins. Like this is a fun cube. I feel like I have the hang of it. We're gonna hop in and see how we do. So some of the archetypes I've had the most success with, the blue and white based blink decks. I think that Thassa is one of the strongest cards in this cube. Yorion as well. But getting just cards like Restoration Angel and any of the blue based alchemy cards, I think set you up phenomenally. What do we have here? So another archetype that I've seen a fair amount of success with has been big red. So something like Ilharg the Razeboar normally would not be like a very high pick for me, but at the same time, this is, well, both of these are the kind of cards that I would be interested in if I was going toward that type of archetype. That being said, your 4 and your 5 slots are going to have quite a few pieces in them, so it's not like it's a high priority to pick up any of these individual cards. Anything that's a 4 or 5 mana beater, the Cavaliers, some Dragon, God, etc., all of which are perfectly reasonable. Other options, so Rafine's Tower is a tri-land, which I value pretty high. This cube lets you splash virtually any and everything. So Rafine's Tower being a tri-land is phenomenal. Cycling is also very big. I think I'm actually going to grab this Paradise Druid. Similarly, it lets you fix very well. The green ramp decks I've had some success with too. Finale Devastation may wheel, but I will not be heartbroken if it doesn't. Okay, here our options are Domri, both of these lands over here, the green-based lands. Skittering Surveyor, which is not bad in the lands deck, and then Garruk Unleashed I'm a little less high on. This card's fine, but you can typically do something equally or more powerful in your 4 slot. If it wheels, I won't say no, but I think, there's also the Eldest Reborn, which has been a very, very successful card. And Skittering Surveyor may wheel. I'm not married to these. Yes, they are untapped lands, but there are a few of those. So we might wheel one. We'll figure out how it goes. Okay, here I like Mirari's Wake. I like Voracious Hydra. I like both of these green-black lands and the Fabled Passage. If we end up being like the big mana deck, Mirari's Wake is amazing. It lets us actually start double spelling. This is now an interesting one. So there's Storm the Festival, which is phenomenal in the big green deck. There's a Wandering Emperor as well, which is amazing with Mirari's Wake. Incentivizes us to be in white, even if it's just the splash. God Eternal Ronis is a very good card, but I don't think that we need it as our 5 slot. Storm might wheel, triple green might be difficult for most decks to get to. This is an interesting one. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this Wandering Emperor.
I'm home.
Having the ability to win combat, being a removal spell, like this card is just all around very, very strong. Now, this is an interesting one, right? So we're not currently in blue. I don't love the Piper. I don't think this card survives long enough to really activate, and it's going to be rare that you you get the value off of the backside. So I'm interested in either Growth Spiral or the Pathway. I'm not married to this Eldest Reborn, even though it's good if we can splash it. White also says that I might want this Blade Splicer. I think my best bet is to go ahead and take the Pathway. Right now, we're not set up to be the lands deck quite yet. All this is kind of just like mid-range nonsense. So we might pick up more Mana Dorks, which makes the Growth Spiral less important. So as of right now, Wandering Emperor is just a generically good card. These are things that we might want to build toward. Okay, so Fiend Artisan versus Chatterfang versus Finale of Glory is what I'm looking at. I don't really care about Rex Sage at this current stage of the game. Fiend Artisan might be worthwhile. Chatterfang, if you make a token, you make that many +1, or sorry, you make that many 1/1 green scrolls as well, right? Yeah. Right now, our only token maker is Wandering Emperor, and I don't think we're set up to be that deck. I'm going to grab the Fiend Artisan, just as a speculative pick. Springbloom Dryad's very nice, so is Mazemind Tome, and so is Guardian Idol. I think I'm going to take the Druid. It sits fairly well on the curve, and it fixes. It'll help enable some of the splashes for, say, Eldest Reborn. Don't care about Taurens all that much. That deck has not impressed me. Vizier, you can play creatures off the top and spend mana as though it were any color to cast it. I think Vizier is fine enough. Typically, these decks are not playing like a ton of creatures, and the ones they are going to be things like Polykranos, big mid-rangey threats. So you're not going to be like storming off playing multiple cards off the top. But even still, 3/4 buy for 4 and potentially drawing a card is nice. Cool. We wield the Finale. Notably this Ginny Fey wield, so that token deck is presumably open. I'm not super impressed with it, but so far we've gotten a decent start to this pack. Okay, so Pathway wield, Surveyor wield. I think I'm more interested in the Pathway. Given that we have the Druid, I don't think we need the Skittering Surveyor quite as much. Surveyor works really well in the blue-white Blink deck. And that deck sometimes plays or splashes green and sometimes plays the Druid, but I don't think it's like necessary that we have it. Notably, shuffle effects are really important with the like play things off the top cards. Like this, Oracle, Moldiah. Okay, so we wield a Blooming Marsh, which I'm pretty happy with. Regal Caracal is not really our deck. Join the Dance is not really for us. Letter of Acceptance is a little lower on power level than what I'm looking for. Here we have Late to Dinner and we have Dreamroot Cascade. I'm going to take this in the off chance that we pick up a Golos or a Kenrith, just being able to have access to the other colors. I don't really want any of these cards, but I guess I'll take this one as the most likely of the bunch to make the deck. What do we have? We have Endrazor Forerunners, we have Saiba Siphoner, Teleportation Circle. We have currently one creature with an Enter the Battlefield effect, so I'm not super hyped on it. This card is very strong. I think it's probably the strongest card in the pack. I don't think we're a Vraska's Contempt deck. I could take the Forerunners. It would give us a win condition with the Fiend Artisan. There's also just the Cold Steel Heart. Cold Steel's probably got to be better. Forerunners might wheel. Ooh, okay. I like this Vivian and I like the Tolfsmere. I also like the Temple, but I think that this is phenomenal.
When I win, you're gonna stay out of my way.
So what Vivian on the Hunt lets you do is you can turn your 2-drop into a 3-drop, your 3-drop into a 4-drop, etc., etc. And typically these decks have a lot of power concentrated in the 4 and 5 slot, with the 4 tending to be something like a Solemn Simulacrum, where you sacrifice it and then you jump up the curve, find your Golos, your Kenrith. It's a repeatable shuffle effect as well. The worst case scenario is it's a 6-mana Planeswalker that makes a 4/4 creature every turn. So fail case is still pretty high. Or rather, still pretty worthwhile. We have Hal and Elena, we have Trostani, and we have Tireless Provisioner. Provisioner is great. Trostani is an amazing payoff, and Hal Elena is one of the best 4-drops for the for the green deck. That said, we're not really set up to play Hal and Elena. I think Trostani is probably the pick. It's a 5-drop that I can turn this Vizier into if needed. Here we have Workshop Warchief, which is another pretty great 5. In theory, you can play the Vivian and then blitz this, sacrifice it. I think I'm into this. Ooh, okay. So here we have Ashaya and we have Beanstalk. Ashaya is another great 5. I think I'm all set on my 5-drops now. Never mind, we found an Omnath. There's also a Spara's Headquarters, an Explore, a Lotus Cobra. Alright. I know what I said. We're taking the Omnath. We're probably not playing these black cards, which is fine. Notably, having the Druid alongside the Omnath is really good. Ooh, Back Alley Gardener. So when one or other creatures enter the battlefield, seek a land. So it looks like we might be shifting into the actual lands deck after all. Kami War is also pretty great for that archetype. I don't know if it's better than the Gardeners. I think Gardener might just be better. Alright, speaking of good creatures, I like Hydroid Krasis. Touch the Spirit Realm is also really nice. Being able to blink and save your thing, or just have a removal spell. I'm going to go ahead and take this Krasis. Actually, how deep are we into blue? We're not really that deep into blue. We have these 2 cards. It's going to be a top-end sort of thing anyway. It works well with the Mirari's Wake. And we have some fixing with the Druid, with the other Druid, the Gardeners, the Vizier. Yeah. Okay. I'm back on it. It's very possible the Kami War also wheels, which is notable. Do I want Pathway versus Temple? It's an untapped red source versus a tapped dual land. I think I take the Temple. That might be wrong. Tolsimir versus Ghidorah. We're not really set up to have the double blue. There's Zayator's Envoy, which is a pretty great card on the 4 slot, but I think Tolsimir is probably just our best bet. And I want to start moving my curve a little bit lower down. We're not an all-run deck. We're not really set up for Teferi. I don't think we want any of these cards. But I'm surprised all these value blue things are as low as they are. Woe Strider is a very high pick, so it's telling me that no one is in a black-based deck. I will snap off the Bant land. And Chulane's not the worst, but I don't really think I want it at the current stage. Alright, so let's take a look. Captain Sisay finds me... what? The Wandering Emperor, Ashaya, Trostani, Tolsimir, Chulane, Omnath, Vivian. It's actually pretty great. What else do we have? Big Score lets us jump up the curve, fixes mana. We're not really splashing black for any of these. Falco Spara is a little hard to cast, but pretty decent. We're not going to have a ton of counters on creatures, though. I'm going to take the Sisei, and it might get cut. This is the buffed Tyvar, right? Put 2 counters on a thing, make 1 elf. I don't love it. I don't think we need it. Alloy Mirror or Cabaretti Revels. Honestly, Cabaretti Revels might be the pick. I think Mirror is not great. I don't think we have the double red to make the Season Pyro reliable. I don't think we have the consistency in our blue mana. Nissa is kind of like a whatever pick. I'll give this a shot. Here's a Harrow. There's also a Riverglide pathway. Harrow's got to be the better pick between these. Professional Facebreaker, Temple Garden, Deserted Beach. I'll take a Temple Garden. We're base green-white anyway. Here, my options are Spark Double, Karn, Hinterland Harbor, or Temple of Abandon. There's also this Inscription, but I think we can probably do better. I don't think Pass the Torch is good. Temple or Hinterland. I'll take the Hinterland. We did find the Kenrith. Notably, this is pack 3. So, do I think I can wield the Skyclave Relic? Probably not. Am I going to wield the Karn's Temporal Sundering? Probably not. I do have a fair amount of like legendary creatures, but for the Karn's Temporal whatever. Tatyova is a very strong card, but it is another 5-drop. I don't want Triskaidekaphile. I don't want Agent of Rafine. Not for this build. I think Armingala is probably a mistake. Alright, another 5-drop. Get in here. I will presumably be cutting some of these 5s. Abrade. Falco Spara is a 4, which isn't the worst. Is that better than the Deathglade Cap? Yeah. Alright. I really don't want this Nissa. I really don't want the mirror either. I'll take the mirror. Okay. This Kavu is probably going to be like a 3-3 or 4-4 at most points. Is that enough? Also, since I have the Kenrith, I will be playing these black lands. Tome of the Guild Pack, not really where I want to be. I'll take a Supreme Will. Not playing any of these cards. Still not playing any of these cards, but that is the most splashable. Micaeus in the board. So, something that's notable, the Cabaretti Revels does not work very well with Hydroid Krasis. So, essentially, anything that I cast may end up finding the Krasis, and which just puts Krasis in the graveyard. Might just be a better idea to not play this. Do I need a what is it, Cathar Commando? I mean, my other option is not play the Krasis and play the Revel. How crazy would that be? I would cut Chulane. I think I can keep the Tatiova. No. I don't really have a ton of fodder to sacrifice to the Fiend Artisan, right? And Sisei does like a fairly similar job there. I don't need the Supremo. I think this is probably fine. There's an argument for Glasspool Mimic, but most of my things I want to copy are actually legendary. I can... No, probably cut that. Alright. It's a 5/3 that gains me 3 and then dies into a 4/4. None of my like 5s actually take up with Vivian, which is a little unfortunate. Do I play a Territorial Kavu? The max it can get is a 4/4. Is that better than Supreme Will? You know what? I'm just going to take the Will. It's splashable, and I think that that's fine. The Supreme Will scales a little bit better than the Kavu, just because if I'm not getting Kavu down early, it's going to eventually be outsized by everything else. Supreme Will is going to be good until fairly late into the game. Alright, so I have 3 lands, 4 and 5 drops. If my opponent's not aggressive and I hit my land, then I am in great shape. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't actually check to see what my basic lands looked like. So like sacrificing a land to the Druid might actually be a problem for me. Let's see. And it looks like my opponent's also on a lands deck. I think it's probably safe to sacrifice the plains here. Oh, that's a lot of mountains. That's interesting. I think I take Forest, Mountain. This sets me up to cast Omnath if I draw it. Otherwise, I can get this Vizier down. I do love that Ashaya and Tatiova are going to play well with each other. My opponent has a Rashmi. We drew the 1 double white card in the deck. Love that. Play Vizier. Okay, we have a land on top. Alright, so that's unfortunate for me. So instead of killing the Rashmi, I have to kill the hostage taker. Alright, I'll take 6. Oh wait, they crewed with this. So that actually lets me just cast this Wandering Emperor, kill this.
Now you've done it. Hat's coming off. My judgment is...
I have a blocker. So it's possible that the Wandering Emperor survives a turn? Okay, nope, never mind. Well. Exile non-land. If I play a Shia, then they can't actually bounce any of my
Our
stuff.
swords will
Because it's up to 1 non-land permanent. Looks like they saw the line. I'll ditch the mirror. Tatyova triggers itself. I'm not going to have an answer to the Xanathar or the Kami War. That's going to be an issue. Oh, I guess I tapped incorrectly. Is this only taps for green? Yeah. Who would have thought that this was an important card to keep? You may look at top card of my library. And it's been mad. So you don't get to look at my hand, right? Take a Temple Garden, sure. Oh, come on. All right. Well, I'm in danger. They drew 4 cards off of the Xanathar, including one of the best cards in my deck. Oh, okay. Another one of the best cards in my deck. Play the gardener. Draw. Okay. That might do it. I think I actually... does this give trample? Any player choose an online card in your graveyard, return that card to your hand. They have Explore versus Prowler. Alright, I'll just kill the Rashmi. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll have 9 mana next turn. Or I guess 9 lands next turn. Depending on what they do, this finale might be lethal. But they have a lot of mana, and I have... they took my Canrith. They have 7 mana. I am genuinely surprised my opponent has not hit 2 lands in a row. You can have this Explorer. That just a little bit. All right, they have 6 blockers. I didn't take a photo of the deck, did I? No. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, Crisis might actually seal the deal here over the Trostani. Oh, wait, no, I get all my stuff back. The issue is that they have 2 spells on top, then I'm dead. Oh. Why would you double block there? I forgot that Falcospar has trample. Of course. And they play the land off the top, and then I die. Yep. Xanathar worked really well for them. I needed, like, any point where they just didn't draw 5 cards off the top of my deck every turn. Just 2 lands in a row at any point would have been, I think, enough for me. Okay. Harrow's gonna let me jump up the curve quite a bit. So... Oh, even better. Now I can pay for the Sentinel? No blocks. And something to pay that off. Alright, so I am pretty well situated here. My opponent is doing the thing. No blocks. Auto pay. The stupid thing is vigilance. Am I dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think I'm gonna be dead. They can answer the Mirari's Wake, then I'm dead. That is not an answer to Mirari's Wake, thankfully. Alright, did I not take a picture between them? Yeah, I didn't take a picture of the deck. Don't remember what my 3s are for this Vivian, but...
If life can thrive here, it can thrive anywhere. Well, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
Think I'm still dead. Could have won. They have an out.
Let's rumble. I'm gonna gain 5. Again, stupid thing is vigilance. But I think I'll still be alright. Oh, fine. There are
Maybe
other
I should
paths to
have
walk.
sequenced that a little bit better. Let's draw a card.
Finally,
Make a
I'm
samurai.
home. Guards, to me! We must protect the people.
Yeah. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And Kendrick can give everything trample. Why did it tap the red source? If I get Tristani, it's not going to matter. I'll get Tolsmir. This would, could, and should have been lethal. But Auto-Tapper is going to Auto-Tap. And yeah, I guess Canthard's gonna be gaining life. Blink Resto, gain 3. Okay. Al comes at me or comes at Wandering Emperor? Really? Alright, so if I make 2 lethal threats, what happens?
I have got new moves to teach you.
Oh, yeah, forgot about the dice trigger. So they can find Circuit Mender, puts them out of range. No, puts them to exact. Oh my god, that was closer than it should have been. I think I probably should have spent more time considering what they could get on that last one. Fortunately, it didn't go poorly for me, but one, they should not have gotten to that turn because I should have been more mindful tapping for Kenrith. Or rather, tapping for Finale. When I had Kenrith. This hand seems really good. Paradise Druid. Seems like they have some kind of interaction. Midnight Clock. Honestly, I think I just want to get this down now.
I've learned much during my travels.
If they have a burn down, then so be it. But getting in underneath a counterspell feels correct there. Counter on this.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
I think I pass here and leave up the Supreme Will. Now that's a little unfortunate for me. It also explains what they had at that stop.
I guess that's it then.
Kanta, sure. They're very far off from that being relevant. Spring Bloom. Sacrifice the mountain. Grab mountain plus... I don't need another white source. I don't really need another green source. I don't need another blue source. Whatever, I'll get the forest. Next turn, I plan on playing the Ashaya. Holding up Supreme Will. I'm surprised they want to race, unless they have something like an Alrund's Epiphany, which... Glad I did this. That's another really good one. Falcospara with a Finale on top. Seems great. This Ashaya is also threatening lethal.
It takes
Right,
impressive
we get the fairy.
getting fast.
And Fairy exiles creatures, not non-lands. So unfortunately they will be able to get the Ashaya. Trostani. No, don't think I can. Unfortunate. So they're gonna eat the Ashaya.
Oh, you'll get over it.
Ashaya is not dead to a board wipe here.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
So they have to wrath my board plus have an instant speed answer to the Ashaya. Oh, or they can just take an extra turn. Turn on the Iskanta. They're going to flip the midnight clock on my turn. So Teferi gets a free
Think
uptick.
fast.
They might have it. They did have the Wrath, but they killed their own
Humbling.
Teferi in the process. I don't have anything that has haste, right? Ooh, no, I have Kenrith. X equals 5. Library. Kenrith. Trample and haste. Okay. My thinking is I can, if they have an answer to just the Ashaya, I can put them to 2, in which case they have to also have an answer for Kenrith. Honestly, that's basically the entire extent of that train of thought. Putting them to 2 is probably the best bet while they're tapped low. Though it does give them the opportunity to eat the Ashaya and then eat the Kenrith the following turn. I don't know. I will admit, the Alchemist Gambit there was unexpected and pretty strong. This hand, I can do better. This hand's not great for me. I am extremely far off from casting either of these. I'm going to take the second 5-drop. Okay. Harrow is a way to dig out of this. Opponent has not shown me a blue source yet. They show me something that is going to kill me. I'll counter it otherwise. Yeah, I'm going to dig for my green source. It is a green source. God bless Harrow putting lands in untapped. Red, green, and I drew my white source. Alright. So I'm a little ahead of my opponent right now, but if they land a creature here, which I assume they're going to. Ooh, that's a good creature. I think it's probably just correct for me to play the Mirari's Wake. Next turn I can get the Mirror and the Wandering Emperor. Also sets me up the best to draw something better. Alright, my giant has been killed. Oh, that's really bad for me. That is really extremely bad for me. I think I still let them go to attacks, and then I eat the Ginny Fae. And that worked out even worse.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa, and I will protect my people.
Honestly, at this rate, in for a penny, in for a pound. The token that they're making is not going to come in untapped. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, am I just dead? I did not think that through. Whoops. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, okay, I would have been dead either way. Yeah, was not banking on the Tristani, and I probably should have. That's a me fault. That's a me mistake. I should not have sat on the Wandering Emperor and passed turn. I definitely should have just played at sorcery speed. My hope was that I was going to be able to stabilize with the Wandering Emperor since I didn't really have anything else going on. But yeah, I let them put 6 hasty power on board by doing that, and it killed me. But that's why they're called mistakes. You live and you learn. This hand seems great. Lead on headquarters, into Hinterland, presumably into Plains, into Dryad. Alright, this hand has a few too many 5-drops for my liking. I think it's a white and a red. Not what I wanted to see. So they drew either a 6-drop or a land. But they would have played the land if they'd drawn one. Well, something about heroes and capes.
Now you've done it. Hat's coming off. You're done.
Though I am now terrified what my opponent's going to do with 6 or 7 mana. I wish I drew a legendary land, or drafted a legendary land. Dungrove. I have whiffed on another land. Alright, so my option is Omnath. Or I can do Gardener plus Druid. No, I can't do Gardener plus Druid. Omnath or Falcospara. I think I do this and I just try and get lucky. I did get lucky. Sure. I'll put a counter on the Spara.
Strike fast and strike hard.
No attacks. This is only oh, it's only cast spells. Whoops. Alright. So they can exile my Falcospara. In which case they'll be able to kill the Wandering Emperor. If they don't... So like they can send in with the Thief and the Elder. In which case I can chump with the Druid. And then trade with the Thief. Ooh. Well, that's a problem. So I can find the Omnath, or I can just take this Tolsmir. I'd kill that again. And I can kill the Elder, and I lose the Wandering Emperor. That's probably still good enough.
I guess that's that. This is what you get for hurting my people.
Well, Drotha doesn't really have good attacks. Yeah, I still have Trample. Okay. Very much did its job. So I have a Vizier on the top. I did not actually mean to cast it, though. I have to discard a card now? Yikes. Alright. Later, nerd. Excuse me. Yeah, I really didn't mean to do that, because now it puts the Falcospara in danger of being removed with the Krogan counterpart. Parade on top's pretty nice. I think I just slammed this Mirari's Wake. Take my medicine. This'll unlock my next play. Hoping that they don't find the Omnath here. Like, really, really hoping they don't find the Omnath here. If they take the Harrow, sure, it lets them get... They did not take the Harrow. I was going to say, it lets them get their actual land drop for turn, plus casting the Harrow. for a +2. Okay, they found my Chulane. And that's their forceful cultivator. Is that mine? Yeah. Excuse me. Well, I will not be looking a gift horse in the mouth. Wait, I thought this was mine. This is mine. I thought this was also mine. Nope. Okay. Well, that was a mistake. I have not seen... Finale. So they found my Omnath. So unless they kill this Tristani, I'm in okay shape. Their escape to the wilds, which gives them the mana to do that. So do they cast out my Tristani? Oh, it's non-land, so the only option is Mirari's Wake. I'm gonna pass. Get my Omnath back. Because otherwise they were going to just steal the block with the Omnath. This line sets me up pretty well. If they did take the finale, I can draw a card and then counter. I would love if they bounce the True Lane. I mean, you can just replay it with Muldrotha. By all means. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So theirs would be a 20-20. I'm going to draw a card. Alright, so if my opponent has not hit my finale, I can get back Kenrith. Nice. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, just realized the Omnath's going to trigger when the Kenrith comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Paradise Druid. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to tap 2 more. Nine. I don't know. 10. 11. 12. Should still be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. X equals 10. Autopay. Search graveyard, find Kenrith. Everything is trample and haste. Yeah, for lethal, I assume. I do have some mana available. But with everything having trample, I'm in an okay spot. Whew! This is a close one. So they have nothing. Okay. They just don't make crater roofs like they used to. That was close. It really came down to whether or not the finale was in the one of the 9 cards my opponent saw with their Thief of Sanity. Okay, 3 and 2. Just gotta win 4 more. A measly 4 more wins. And I, again, did not screenshot my deck. Whoops. I'll remember at some point. Yeah, this seems great. I have a turn 3 Gardener into Spring Bloom. Which I imagine is probably still better than Spring Bloom into maybe hitting one of my 5s. Okay, so my opponent has foretold 1 card, and they're holding up a counterspell here. I think it's probably still better for me. Yep. To play the Druid. That is noteworthy, but I think... Sacrifice this, I get a Forest and a Plains. Alright, so they've missed a land drop. I'm 3 lands ahead and they're off it. Cool. Next turn, what do I do? Ashaya into... Give me 3 lands available after that. There are 3 mana available because I had these 2. If I drew a land, does that change anything? Probably not. 2, 3. Yeah, no, it wouldn't change anything. Okay, we are 4-2. As always, this video is still brought to you by Quiet Speculation. Got a bit of a cough going on. Sorry to the folks at home watching this VOD. Excuse me. Whew. This also seems pretty great. Put this on blue, theoretically. Okay, at least they can't activate the ninjutsu on this. I think I want to go ahead and lead with the Tristani. It trades the best with their removal and doesn't allow the Satoru Umezawa to trigger. Like, even if they destroy this, I still have I will have a 1/1 to block. Ooh. Can I set up an Omnath plus Harrow? I hope so. Even better. Unfortunately, I don't think I can Tatiova plus Harrow. Alright, another one of these things. Into the Royal of the Omnath. I'll gain the life. Hoping this Tristani makes it so they have a very awkward Xanathar. I do have 12 mana right now. I could theoretically finale for 10 if they tap out. And I also have Omnath plus Harrow. Alright, so if they play Bolus, I discard Tatiova, then I try to string Omnath, Harrow, Finale. I think that works. I'm gonna get the Ashaya back. Don't know if that was the smart call for them. Also just realized Xanathar doesn't fly. Red. Green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So x equals 11. And they're still tapped out. Search my library. I guess I just grab Falco Spara. Would be a little boring with it. Flying Trample is enough to get in there. and technically can't kill it with the shield counter on it. Whew! I have accumulated the 1-2 punch of Mirari's Wake plus Finale a lot more than I thought I would here. I guess it kind of makes sense when my deck just draws through all, if not most, of their lands. Its lands. Oh, I did again. I still did not screenshot the deck. I will do that next time because, again, I am playing a pod card in the deck. This seems fine. I can get a turn 3 Sisay. Or if I get disrupted, Alloy Mirror into Tolsimir seems fine too. I have my double green. I have my double whites. I don't really need the black unless I'm doing Kenrith things. I'll just say green. Be on the safe side. My opponent's showing me Bant colors. Ooh. I actually think I'm going to go for the Falco Spara. It stops their Haka from being able to connect, which isn't going to mean a ton. Their deck probably wants to blink it. And if they want to trade their creature and then bolt this, I'm pretty okay with that. Yeah. I'm much happier with them killing that than killing the Captain Sisay. So, they get 2 for 1. If this survives, it's going to draw a bunch of cards. It's looking like it's going to survive. Plus, I have this Tolsimir to kill the Risen Reef. Ooh, yeah. Now, I guess the question is, am I better off just getting the Vivian and then sacrificing Sisay for Omnath? I think so.
Ooh, concrete jungle. Sounds like my kind of place.
Actually, I'll just make the 4/4.
I brought some muscle along.
This gives me the option to sacrifice Sisay next turn. They're stuck on lands. Okay. Nice. We're doing the thing. We are 5-2 after this. No, we're 6-2. All right, so this is for all the marbles. And before I forget, let's screenshot this stupid deck. So I know what I'm doing when I go for my Vivian. Alright. I only remind myself 6 times, give or take. Alright, this one's a little slow, but Harrow, Wandering Emperor, Krasis, all these cards are phenomenal. You don't typically see Fable Passage plus Mountain. So it seems like they're an aggressive deck. Or they're not an aggressive deck. They're going for Woe Strider. I'm gonna go ahead and Harrow. I have double white already, so this is going to get a blue and a green. A land would be amazing here, not a land. The downside of tutoring out half of my deck. Sure, you can have a Fiend Artisan. Alright, let's see what you get. Falco Spara.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming. Keep watch for intruders.
This is my punishment.
Until next time, then.
Exile this creature so it doesn't come back.
I am almost sad to see you go.
Alright. Not what I wanted. Angrath. That's a problem.
Never seen your crew for my freedom? A fair price.
Fortunately, Angrath can't -3. Well, that's really bad for me.
No fire, no steel.
Let your blade do the talking.
But that's pretty good for me. Alright, so they trade their board.
No fire, no
Excuse me.
steel.
I will ditch this Abrade.
May your blade strike true.
They get their Voracious Hydra down. I don't actually know if I have an answer to that Hydra. None of those are going to do it. And they steal the Ashaya and kill me. I figured having a Trump blocker there would be enough, but can't get through the Plague Wind. Okay, so we finished at 6-2. Still a good run. Still positive record and positive cash payout. I guess coin payout. Let's take a look at the deck one more time. Oh, I never even put Tulane in the deck. Whoop. That explains that. Okay, so what I like. We have a fair amount of ramp between the Paradise Druid, the Cold Steel Heart. Alloy Mirror's not a good card, but we're playing because we kind of had to. Harrow and the Back Alley Gardener. I think these cards, and I guess Spring Bloom Druid as well. These cards are phenomenal. And these in particular offer the opportunity to trigger the Omnath multiple times. Captain Sisay is a pretty solid include for this deck. I'm relatively low on Sisay, generally speaking, just because it's very killable. And at 4 mana, I wish it had a stronger impact. But the fact that Sisay can pick any of these haymakers, between the Vivian, the Omnath, Tatiova, Tolsmir, like, all of these cards do a very unique job, some of which stabilize you, draw you cards and gain you life, are able to act as removal, unsteal things from your opponent, or just be another engine. I am a fan of Sisay in this particular shell. Ashaya is interesting because a lot of removal is flexible, right? So destroy target non-land permanent is typically is preferred over destroy target creature if your deck can afford it. Ashaya turns that into a downside, ostensibly saying like, oh, hey, your removal spell no longer works on my creatures because my creatures are now lands as well. And it also does help to ramp into your Mirari's, or not ramp to Mirari's Wake. It's similar to Mirari's Wake where you ramp into your Finale or your Krasis. We didn't really have an opportunity to play a big Krasis at any point. Notably, we kind of just drew our deck naturally, and so Krasis, if we were to put it on like X equals 7, 8, 9, might have actually just decked us. Abrade is misplaced in this deck, but it's a splashable piece of removal. We're playing a red source anyway. I don't think that this deck wanted 3 mountains. I think it was probably better suited like 3 forests, 1 mountain. But either way, Kenrith is an excellent way to close out a game. This card does everything, and it's very splashable. And Alloy Mirror, again, don't love it, but we kind of had to play it. I think, in retrospect, maybe I would have rather had a Cathar Commando over the Alloy Mirror. Even Eldest Reborn might have been a worthwhile include. I think we do have too many 5s. So this Vivian was not necessarily at its best, but the option to turn a Druid or an Alloy Mirror into a Sisay, a Vizier, a Falco, I think that is worthwhile. I would have loved to have a Solemn Simulacrum or the Alchemy, was the Cultivator, where if you don't have lands in your hand, it costs green instead of 2 and 2 green. I think those cards pair really well when you're trying to jump up the curve like this. All said and done, I think this deck was fine. We got a bit lucky with this record. I'd give it maybe like a C, C+. I think we were able to port pretty well from our intended like plan going in when things start to dry up. Anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching. You can find this video on quietspeculation.com as well as the YouTube page. You can see all the previous stuff that I've done. If you want to talk to me about future suggestions on what I should play or thoughts, just any sort of Magic related concept, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Adam E. Cohen, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks so much for watching.